Hey everybody, this is Rydo and we're back to Shantae and the Pirate's Curse. So we've got a little bit of cleanup to do. I've looked at where things are supposed to be as far as what we're supposed to collect. It probably wouldn't even hurt to immediately just jump out into the overview area to double check what we need to collect. I've also noticed that there's some ability here that in watching other people play that seems to just not exist here. Maybe it's on the Switch version and not the PC version, but they definitely were able to activate the pike ball and the monster milk just automatically without having to go through the hassle of going to the menu. And yeah, I just don't see how that would happen. Yeah, and this is an area that blocks you far enough that you're not going to be able to get the things you need to get through without just taking a bunch of hits. And there really is just kind of nothing in this first section. Like, it's not, I think, until you get over here that you even have the first Tinkerbat, which I think we only have one Tinkerbat to collect, and we have one Squid Heart character. I do think this game deserves more praise than I've been giving it, frankly, for the fact that they are iterating. Also found out that there's a couple of like secret dungeon. There's a boss run secret room that will show off, I guess, in a secret dungeon that as long as I can access it still, I don't see a reason why I kind of wouldn't want to go ahead and just show it off. Seriously. Still way too easy for this kind of BS to happen. I also looked at the achievements, and there's a speedrunning achievement like the previous game had. The director's cut of the previous version on Steam, which that kind of eliminates any possibility of... Seriously, so all of a sudden it is blatantly obvious why those bats are there. They are designed to just knock you back. Because you have to deal with them so much. And there's pretty much nothing in here in this scene. Alright, so we had already come over here and taken care of this Tinkerbat. I think we really just have a octopus we need to get. And because I'm not going to get all the achievements, there's no real reason to try anything crazy like saving to see a bad ending versus a good ending. So it's right here. So come back here, start running. That doesn't work. Total restoration. There's another potion. Wasted. Yeah, but I don't think there actually is a reward for having let me hit this. Well, I guess that makes a platform that makes it slightly longer. So that was the trick. Alright. And I'm going to assume, fingers crossed, that we have collected everything else, because if I haven't collected everything else, it is in the oubliette. And if it is in the oubliette, let me double check that. I think the story might end fairly badly though if Roddy Top Soul just does stay here. I feel like that should open up to a path of a sequel bait at the very least, that her soul would decide to escape, and then there'd be something to it. Alright, this is gonna suck. We've been through a lot of this. So do I want to go any further here? No, I think we pirate flare out of this, and see, I was right. I should have gone out to the island selection screen. I should have double checked to know what I was specifically trying to find in Mudbog Island, and then I should have been able to know that information well enough to be able to know whether I'm going to the oubliette or whether I needed to go to the oubliette or not. Now, part of the problem here is the quick search I did returned 2 listings, one for a location of all the squids, and a different one for all the Tinkerbats. So, alright, that was the right move. Then I think I fairly do know how this is gonna go. Alright. So, to get the Tinkerbat... Oh, you can't fall in the water even if you tried. You just do that. And I don't see how anybody would have known that that was where that was. That's fairly ridiculous. They're kind of intentionally hiding at least one of these so that you won't get them all. And so this is the last Tinkerbat, so if it's going to do anything, it would do it now, probably. It did give me an achievement for doing that. And then the last squid. I don't believe there's an achievement that I saw for getting all of the map exposed. But there is an achievement for collecting all the maps. Oops. Alright. See if I can remember where this squid is. Oh, octopus. And it's definitely not worth the effort in these days to grind through things. We already got the octopus that was up here. That makes sense. And then I don't think it's this way. It's right there. There it is. Yeah. So we have the one Tinkerbat that you wouldn't have known was there or found, and then you have a couple squids that just had to be left because there was just not a good either way to maneuver at that moment when you originally saw them, or there was another thing distracting you. So after we get this, we'll go back to the city, see if we can upgrade. If we can't upgrade, then we'll have to move on to the next thing. Well, see, I wouldn't have had the ability to collect that. Yep. And I got another achievement for that. So then you get up here, get up here, get up to this point, get up to this point, and let's just get out of here and then pirate flare back, and we are done. And see, that really is a situation where it really isn't a... It wasn't because I
Pirate flare activated.
Didn't find some of those collectibles. It was more that I just forgot about the collectibles. Same joke several times, which you would have seen that probably a lot more if you hadn't been playing as thoroughly as I had been playing. So to Scuttle Town we go. And it's a dark and gloomy Scuttle Town. Let's see what the father says. This is no good. A curtain of pure evil has fallen upon our town. This can only be accomplished with dark magic. Uncle, I hope to never have to tell you this, but I know about it, Uncle Mimic. This is the work of the Pirate Master. Gasp. You know of the Pirate Master, but how? This would be funny if it turns out the Pirate Master is your mother. Or father. I'll explain later. I have to get to the Sequin Land Palace. Yep, these two characters never talk. There's a new glass bulb behind the guy also. See, this looks like a doorway, but I can't walk in it. And it's just everything has been covered in a different outfit. Sequin Land has finally fallen. This is truly the end of everything, ever. Still, I want to eat 9 bento boxes right now. Have any for me? Nope, not enough for you. There is an achievement for you personally eating each of the food items. I do think the food items were a good addition. Oh yeah. But I mean, it's even a little dark in here. But I didn't see any achievement for feeding the other guy, the leader. So she just says the same thing throughout the entire game. She's gonna melt them down into her heart. And that's the only extra line of dialogue she has. Sorry, but your hearts are already at max. And that character still looks like she might be topless. I don't know if you can make an argument that a metal smith, somebody working in a hot environment where you also have the chance of flicking a melted steel on yourself, would be the right place to be running around, even in scantily clad. clothing. I'd say when you're metalworking, you probably need like a thick leather protective apron on top of as much coverage as you could possibly get. Shantae. Sky, where's everyone gone? Some ran when the sky went dark, but I can't leave these eggs. What's happening? Is this what you were trying to tell me before? Oh Sky, the pirate master has risky boots. Who cares what happens to her? I'm sure this is all her fault somehow anyway. Kind of, yeah. But she doesn't deserve to be in the clutches of that monster. I'm going to try and save her. Somehow. So not really a hint or anything from her. And I guess Bolo is just left where he was. And we might as well just top up everything for the final battle. And we might as well come in here and save. Different monsters, interesting. So dark monsters could have been a pain, but not really a pain, and they reset that wall section. Instead I'm gonna power through this. And it seems like it's right in the castle. So we have 7 regular milks and I believe 1 monster milk. We are still 1 bento box short of being at max. We would have needed 2 more lobster tails, 7 more super pike balls, 1 more of these shields. I would have had to done quite a bit of grinding to get everything. And the flesh pops are their own little thing. Alright, so there is a secret boss rush mode in here that you can well do since we're already here. And they do have a pretty high amount of drop rates. So this would probably be a good place to just practice your moves. There might be an achievement for doing this without expanding your health, which would definitely be a different experience. This one's doing a lot of shadow step dodging. Interesting. Locked into that. You probably aren't going to get a maximum amount of... Oh, yeah, and I forgot that you have these downward attacks now. But, yeah, you're probably not going to get a maximum amount of money doing this. And... still worth mentioning that this is... like not a actual boss rush as much as this is a just enemies challenge room. And it seems like some of these guys either have bad pathfinding or they or they've just been reprogrammed to not really walk around anywhere. We are almost done. Alright. That's one. That's another. There we go. Come on. I think this is the second to last run. Yeah. So, you know what I should do is do something like this way more often. Now, if you wanted to collect shields this way, this is a pretty bad system, because while you will get you that one bubble shield, it won't get you any more. And this is the exact same spawn locations as I saw the other player play this section, although in all fairness the other player did also play a lot better. I guess the real question would be, oh look, that creature does a taunt, I didn't even know that. Could you possibly do a certain number of attacks and then do like a 1, 2, 3 hit and bounce off, and then 1, 2, 3 and then hit and then bounce off? Because if you could get that, timing down, one, two, three, that would have been cool. But nope. And so there's an achievement for doing that. I just got it. I'm gonna go ahead and eat a flesh pop. And then anytime I see another one drop, I'll consider eating another one. Since we know that that's all that's going to drop down here. But yeah, you can definitely see that didn't in turn turn into like a lot of gold or anything. I got a meat chunk, interesting. Alright. So I gotta figure out where the other secret dungeon is. Here. 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 There is a secret dungeon. It is somewhere here. These were supposed to be the secrets under the castle. Interesting, I broke something. Interesting. So there's a way down and a way over here. Nothing over here. Nothing over here. I swear there's somewhere. And it's not just a secret passage up here, I don't think. See? No, it's not that. It's not there. It's not there. I recall seeing it on the left side. That is one shortcut that would have worked. Well, we may have a situation here where I just can't remember where it is. It does certainly feel like there should be a run sequence this way. But is there actually a run sequence this way that would work? Run, run, run. No. Run. 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 Yeah, if there was going to be any sequence, it would have to be something like this. We'd have to get back here. And see, that just broke those rocks. I could have sworn I had seen it in here, but maybe I saw it in, like, maybe it was just not depicted correctly. Or maybe there's a different place, so I'm not gonna drive myself crazy looking for that. Instead, let's get as much health as possible and see that these guys have all been beaten up. And here we have some plant overgrowth of where the Sultana would have been. So the Pirate Master seems like he has put a platform here that was not there before. And over here is blocked off. We kind of knew that this was going to happen at some point. Let me see if this works. No, I don't think that quite works. Okay. Alright, the danger here, more than anything else, seems to be the idea of shooting yourself too high. I may have to be fairly fast around this. Oh man. Let me ask this. Can I shoot while in the air far enough? This definitely could create a nightmare scenario for some players. I definitely see a world where you just are not good enough. Yeah, I could see somebody kind of being frustrated there in kind of a rage quit sequence. Let's just make sure that there's nothing here. We're not really looking for much of anything. There might be a secret entrance to a place over here where that dungeon was, or that dungeon may have been hit. Frankly, might have been anywhere. Alright. So this is about going the right direction and timing it right. How in the world are you supposed to do that? I suppose thematically it is accurate to want this game to end in like the Sultana's palace. That does make sense, even though the vast majority of the game isn't like that. Oh man. Let's see, could we use a shield? Because I think that's where this might come down to, is we'll just have to use a shield as a way of ensuring our protection. Because there's nothing else we could really do. Nope, can't use it. One, two, three. Nothing breaks out of your spin attack here. That would go back that way. One, two, three. Seriously. Oh man. Once again, that should have been checkpointed. It's too easy to make stupid mistakes. It's too easy to get off your game. It's too easy to run into a sequence that once again has the frame rate feel to it, where you have to just shoot at the exact right moment. this whole game does kind of have this nasty curve to it where it tries to just wear out your health. And there's really no way to get around it. One, two, three, four. It is about 3.5 seconds, I would say. I feel like I kind of lucked through this part. 1, 2, 3. But there's no way to slow yourself down. And there's no way you're going to be able to float through all of this. So how in the world do you do this with only 2 hearts? And it's not even like there was a save point around here. Feels like if you were gonna have something like this happen, there needed to be a health refill before you reach this point in particular. Just a heart that always spawns. 1, 2, 3. That way, if you just make it to this point, you're not losing health. 1, 2, 3. Right. And see, there was a secret there. I realized that after the second attempt. And then that just turns on this platform, which means if we ever fall down, we should be safe enough. It's kind of weird that they specifically have decided to animate a whole nother level. Let's look at the map. So we are going to have the exact same experience where can you run on spikes? Have we ever been able to run on spikes? If I can run on spikes, I can run on spikes. First time I've ever had to do it. I need to jump early in the first one, and then not jump in the second one. And see, this is the point where 2 buttons are going to be a problem. Well, I got a lot further there. They're just screwing with you, putting obvious places where you're one-hit die. And that was down again. This definitely feels kind of like one of those NES style things where you would just absolutely die. I'm gonna take one more hit and then use a potion. Yeah, there is definitely many instances out there of games like this where they have just hurt you real bad. Let's see how the bubble shield works. It doesn't work at all. So I thought maybe the game was going to be kind and let you potentially use the shield as a secondary option. I don't know if yeah, you don't have to hold the X button, although I have been, after you tap it. So you do this, you tap A, and then it's just a matter of pressing the A button to jump at the right time. And there definitely are some points where going the wrong way would not be beneficial. But they kind of are making this out like this is easy. Remember, there was no difficulty setting in this game. And this is only rated T for teen, so I should have dropped down at that point. There's a point to mention there that I'm not really looking for immature gameplay. I'm looking for something I think a teenage player, who by definition would only have a teenager level of skill, would have. Not so. When I run into difficulty spike sections like this, which they really put the spikes in difficulty spikes, this doesn't feel appropriate. I'm gonna have to say this out loud. Tap A, tap A, tap. Nope. Don't double tap. Down. All of that was right. I just needed to make it to the next part. And then at that point I would need to probably use the cannon attacks. Man. And there's ways you could have definitely made this easier. You could have had it so that you're not permanently obstructed by spikes. If you die on the spikes, those could also get broken. Say for instance they were spike balloons, and when you touch them they pop and explode. That would be a way in which you could expand your chances. It's also getting harder and harder to keep my finger and my thumb on the right side, which it has to be on the right side. Finally. Just crawl. And crawl in victory. And then you get over here. And this is where, if the game was any kind at all, it would refill your health completely at that point. But instead, they're gonna give you something fairly challenging to pull off. Now this is accomplished just by feathering the... Alright. So we're gonna have to basically do that. Now if that's the measure of it, that should be fairly fine. But I feel like there's a decent chance there's more here. And there was certainly a danger in the idea of potentially hitting a spike that was above the screen and you couldn't see it. Also a danger in this platform simply not getting activated and then you falling all the way down, which would have been incredibly frustrating and unacceptable. So I would have preferred that there was either a switch that would have opened the door and activated the platform, so it was guaranteed that you had to activate the platform, or the platform just should automatically activate anyways. Alright, well, this seems fairly doable. I guess I wanted to give you just kind of a slow-paced area. Alright, what I'm gonna try and do is not die. To get up to that part, yeah. Let's see. Yeah, I think I've kind of figured out what they want me to do. Seriously. I don't think I made the best path here for myself. And it might really behoove me to decide to go back and just reset the path, and we'll start this over again. You don't want to break any of these. You really don't want to break any of these. Just want to fall down here. Get up here. There we go. Well, that cleaned up the passageway a little bit, but this is really getting ridiculous as far as just well, that may have messed me up. I may not be able to go any further. Yeah, they're putting these here intentionally so that you accidentally double jump. And if all of this is actual training against fighting the Pirate Master, there's gonna be trouble. Okay. I think there's gonna be trouble. Like, I can do that much. But that's about it. So, if I manage to mess this up enough, well, I need to kind of go back and shoot. Or I can just hope for that. I also have to watch my health fairly well though, because there is probably a full reset to this room as we're slowly configuring it that will happen if I die completely. Seriously. Seriously, game. It was literally at the end. And it's totally still possible that I bone this up. There we go. And for my effort, I am granted 2, maybe 4 hearts. No, 5 hearts. Alright, well, how do you solve this? Well, I thought there might be a heart there, but I guess there would be kind of no reason why there would be a heart there. Am I seriously expected to be able to kill all of those creatures?
Eat this!
Like, that doesn't seem like that's likely to happen. Best I can figure, I'm supposed to do that and just get all the way over the edge. And then at this point, I don't think I could actually take them all out, but
Eat
Even if I am taking them all out, it kind of doesn't matter. There we go.
Eat this!
There. No achievement for doing that. Are they done screwing around with me finally, or... And can we just have the boss fight, because it's between running around and getting the last collectibles and this, it has been quite a mess. This is very Cronenberg-esque in its body horror elements, and I just don't see how this would turn out to be your father or your mother. So the Pirate Master probably does just have to be a bad guy. Good thing I didn't use a potion before I saved. Actually I should stop breaking these, shouldn't I? Because clearly this is a... well, no. It wouldn't have helped me to save those. So I still don't know if this guy originally did look like Risky Boots or what. I don't even know if it's really a guy. You've arrived. The daughter of the genies. Maybe you noticed I gave the palace a little makeover. Now that I'm back in physical form, I'm growing stronger by the second. And here you have Risky Boots with her hat torn and her hair disheveled and her body is scuffed up and scratched, and she's chained up in a chain with her arms back in her back, and her pants look to be a little bit torn. So kind of a bondage image for a teen plus audience. He's a monster. Keep your distance. Silence you. Why did you come, girl? Certainly not to save this traitor. Maybe you wish to fight or fill your mother's shoes. Let Risky Boots go free or else. Take note that Shantae there was not wearing the pirate outfit, so she took that off at some point. I don't know what point that was. Ha ha ha. Or else what? You're gonna unleash your half-bred magic on me? Which one was your mother? The fire-spouting hothead, or maybe the songbird? I don't know. I never knew her because of you. You want to take a swing at the captain, eh? Why not? I could use a warm-up. Show us some of your magic tricks, Genie. Alright. Scourge of Sequin Land Pirate Master. Alright, so we've got a guy that doesn't seem like he really wants to... Alright, let's do this, this, and this. And that's like 3 things we can do fairly well, and it might protect us somewhat. Although it does seem like the bubble is not really giving us knockback or protecting us from damage. Why am I not hitting him? That's a great question. And no, I did not know those were lasers, so that came as a shock to me. I thought they were going to be more targeting places for his cannons. Well, with all of this stuff enabled, it does seem like I might just do a massive amount of damage, and this might be a fairly fast fight as it is. Alright, now's a good time to use a potion and then a monster milk. And
Super
then
Kite Ball. Bubble.
and we'll just do everything. Alright, let's actually do this too. Can't do that. Alright, good. And wow. Is that all you got? For a genie kid, you sure don't pack much of a punch, do you? So I would assume there's a second phase, otherwise the battle with the octopus was way harder than this was. In fact, you'd be nothing without my weapons. Herm. I think I'll just take them off your hands. Har har har. So we lost the pistol, the scimitar, and the hat, and the boots, and the cannon. Hey, give those back. Har, what do you say we get this show on the road? I'll show you my true power. And now, I assume the countdown on all these abilities are still the same. Nope.
Power up. Super Kite Ball. Bubble.
So I want to just hit this guy as much as possible. Take note, I'm not really getting a lot of hits here at that angle. And he's using all the weapons, which the shield is actually stopping these projectiles. You need to switch angles and go left and then right and then left, and just like readjusting is too much. But I didn't even use the abilities, so if we were at a point where the abilities would have been useful in that first part of the fight, I really failed. I really failed to use it.
Super Kite Ball. Bubble.
And we'll just go through every single thing here. There is an achievement. Oops, I wasn't paying attention to my health. I need to be more careful and use up the food. There's an achievement for like using the shield or the shield only to defeat some bosses or all the bosses. I am not really sure how that would work. Let's go ahead and use it.
Monster Milk.
Monster Milk does 10 damage instead of 15. Very arbitrary numbers in this whole system though. Like, honestly, if the first ball doesn't hit you, I don't think the other two will either. Can we step on the swords? No. See, that's what I would have thought, is that you could have used the swords as a platform. So you definitely have some sections here where you are definitely not just capable. So is there going to be a third phase, or are we going to fight Risky Boots? What's the deal with the dark magic? Har har har. Genie girl. Eek. I hear you've got a whole lot of dark magic in that lamp of yours. Hand it over or I'll crush this has-been beneath my heel. Gasp. What it'll be, the dark magic or life. Risky. And she doesn't say anything. If I hand over the dark magic, you promise not to hurt her? I swear on my own grave. He's a filthy liar. Don't give it to him. Will you give him the dark magic? I've got no choice. Yes. Here, take it. Just let Risky go. I knew you'd see things my way. So is that dark magic that's getting released, or White magic. What's this nonsense? Bah, light magic. I have no use for this filth. Huh? Risky was right. The dark magic was really my magic all along. Ha 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 ha. You can't trust that coward. She just fled to save her own skin. Risky's no coward. She meant for me to use it somehow. And so then I pressed the Y button and sucked it up. But it would be really crazy if you had your like transformation magic powers all of a sudden at the end of this game. My magic. Impossible. It's back where it belongs. I knew Risky was telling the truth. Grr, curse that Risky boots. I'll wipe you and every last genie from existence. Alright, so. So all she can do is absorb magic at the moment. Alright, so what we'll want to do is use a shield, this, and we'll eat a bunch of flesh pops while we're at it. You see, he's just completely off the screen right now, so there's no way you could hit him, because you can't do any damage to these weapons or anything. And without that double jump, it sure does feel different. And I assume you're just gonna be... I'm doing like negative 999 damage to him. Why am I doing negative 999 damage to him? Alright, let's go ahead and eat a lobster and eat. Why can't I not eat other things? See, I was pressing the absorb button there and I thought maybe I would absorb the gun. Like, none of my other abilities are working, though. And this doesn't feel to me like we're doing anything. Negative 999. Oh, but when I do damage to him, I am also doing negative damage to him. So I am doing like massive amounts of damage to him, and it's just not working. I don't think the monster milk would help any further, so I'm gonna stop drinking it. Yeah, because when I take damage, it's negative 4. When I auto-restore, it's positive health. When I hit this guy, it is negative 5 attack. So every time I hit him, I'm doing negative 999, so he does have like massive amounts of damage. Come on, game. Am I on a timer here? Though, like, it really doesn't make sense that there would be this whole system. Because yeah, I'm really confused as to what's going on here.
Bubble.
And so I'm just trying to buy myself time, but there's a danger here. We are gonna just run into a sequence where I'm gonna just, I guess, get on top of the platform and just try to do an absorption attack. Use my magic. Because I think that's what I'm supposed to do. Like it, you hit these to get there. I'm just gonna hold the absorption magic here. And it's doing absolutely nothing. So, I feel like the game is probably just lying to me completely. Gosh, and I'm doing such a terrible job as far as... Hey, is there a way to run? Like, I feel like it's lying about how much damage is actually being dealt. And it's just being kind of cagey around that. Just keep on eating these chunks. Just think, is there any other ability? Might as well use this and this, and then try. See, that was 4 balls. Has it always been 4 balls, or has it been 3 balls before? And since this is not randomizing its attack, it's fairly annoying too. See, I don't know if I'm just supposed to lose here, or if what. It's just a massive amount of damage. And here we have Risky. Her hair is still disheveled, but she's out of the chains in a different pose. And she's kind of put a belt on her bottoms to untear them, I suppose. Move it, you landlubbers. Get the cannon into position. Aye, aye. Ready to fire, Captain. Hold for my order. Steady now? So she did run to actually help me. And, yep, fire. Alright, so I get what I'm pressing the button, and the delay is low enough that I need to be where he's gonna be, which I think it's hard to be where he's gonna be. Because he's moving fast and intent with a purpose. And he's like intentionally avoiding it. What if we stood where we expect him to be? Alright. Yeah, this is more of a stand here and expect him to move where you are. Stand here. Let's go ahead and eat another that and that and that. So you want to aim a little high and then hope that he'll follow you. And when he's doing his little charged attack, you can't hit him. Alright. Alright, let's monster milk. And we can hit him, but we also want to hit him with the missile. He's moving out of the way. It might be easier to just attack him completely. And that's the third phase, so I think that's probably it. It would be crazy for a fourth phase. And it'd be a little silly if there was another boss. We got an achievement, so I guess that's the end of that. And so it does seem like the Pirate Master doesn't have any more backstory he really wants to tell. As far as like him potentially defeating, killing Shantae's mother, or him potentially being having a deeper relationship other than just captain and first mate with Risky Boots. This game in particular does still kind of suffer from not wanting to tell much of a story and being a little too overly focused on animating Shantae and the collection of the other females in the game in a few too many poses. You're finished, Pirate Master. You cannot destroy me. Yar. That's the last of him. There's just one thing left to do. Here's where she betrays Shantae, almost certainly. Like what? The pirate weapons. It's time I took them back. Oh, right. But Risky, what about the curse? So she's wearing all the same items. There's nothing to fear. And see, now that she's back in her outfit, we can see just how different her outfit looks than the outfit she was wearing before. That was very, very different. The curse has been broken. I'm in charge of my own destiny. I won't let the darkness rule over me any longer. So you're gonna become a good guy? Ho ho ho. I didn't say that. Listen carefully, Runt. You walked the walk and you talked the talk. Hey, you even dressed the part. Haha. And see, now it does the flash in with her wearing the different outfits. And clearly, if Shantae ever had some secret magic, it would be the secret magic of switching outfits. But in the end, you're no seafaring cutthroat. Far from it. You can't pretend to be something you're not. And neither can I. So long. So you end on fairly good terms. Risky. Aye. The thing I would say about the previous game is that Roddy Tops kind of was left on bad terms, and then when we started this game, the relationship between Roddy Tops and Risky really hadn't progressed any, but they had progressed somewhat, and it probably shouldn't have progressed at all. Risky. Aye. And then this pose where Shantae just gets shy and doesn't talk, I think this was probably a personality trait that needs to be eliminated from any hero character. Like, that would then open the door for your main character, your protagonist, to talk a little bit more, and by them talking a little bit more, there could be a little bit more dialogue, thus a little bit more story. Don't go. Interesting, they had an awkward pause before Uncle Mimic talked. It's going to be alright. She'll have to discover her own path. Oh, Uncle. Uncle Mimic really plays no part in these stories, and neither does Sky or Bolo. They just show up as assistant characters, which that's not a problem, frankly. It also opens up an interesting possibility that some future Shantae game could be a 4-player co-op game, where you could just drop in and drop out as 2 females, 2 males. Wrench said you were in danger. We came as quickly as we could. Is everything okay? He's not wearing the glasses anymore. Is Risky Boots still here, please? Sigh, she's gone. Soul crushing. I still haven't washed my head since the last time she punched me. I haven't washed my head since the last time she punched me. You've had a big day. Let's get you home. Thanks, everyone. But there's something I really need to do first. Which is what? Visit the grave of your parent. Talk to these other people. They've definitely introduced some new characters in this game, and I feel like the next game in the series, the fourth game in the series, will also introduce more characters. But at a certain point, you can't just continuously add characters. You've got to use what you've got already. Thank goodness that awful storm has finally passed. The sky is beautiful and blue again. And I suspect that these college girls will never be seen in the more modern outfit again, and they will just work for the Ammo Baron or Risky Boots for the rest of the series. Hey girlfriend, you and that pirate lady saved the day. Haha, I guess we did. But I still got some unfinished business with you, Ammo Baron. Let me guess, you want your job back. Ammo Town could really use a guardian genie like you around. I can certainly vouch for her character, if it would make her happy. Sigh. No thanks, I've got something else in mind. I'm only a half genie, and I've never granted someone's wish before, but I think I'm ready to give it a try. Interesting end here. This one's for you, Mayor. Oh. So she's been able to grant wishes, apparently. No! Weeks of hard labor, materials, my precious resources, all gone. The people of Scuttertown are through with you, Ammo Baron. Now take a hike, you scum-sucking scallywag, or I'll clean your gills from ear to ear. She's in the pirate outfit again. She's bewitched and speaking blabber tongue. Let's clear out of here, men. Move it. So she uses her magic to restore Scuttletown. I don't know how that's going to play in the legal sense. I can't believe it. My beautiful town has been restored to needs work condition. You'll always have a place here as our guardian. Promise me you'll never ever leave. Ah, Mayor. So you get a happy ending. That's not terrible. And here we have Abner, Poe, and Roddy Tubbs. And I think that's actually here at the end of the game the first time they've even named Abner. Or maybe they mentioned his name once, but he's really not played a big role. Gotta hand it to you. I saw something in that pirate gal that the rest of us missed. Just like you did with little sis here. Haha. I just awoke from the most wondrous dream. I was a hero just like you. I saved everyone who was lost and helped them find their way home. I'll tell you all about it tonight. What's tonight? Sleep over at your house. Now that we've moved back to the mainland, I'm going to track down our caravan. Maybe we should open up our own coffee wagon. But meantime, Roddy Tops can stick around here, if you don't mind. Yeah, sure. I suppose I'll have to keep a close eye on these two. No one invited you. Time to hit the bricks. Where will you go? Poe and me, we're gonna search for answers. Maybe remember who we really are. Get our lives back. Roddy Tops appears to have a head start thanks to you. So there's kind of like this tragic story that's going on in the background with these zombie characters. And Roddy Tops is being written as a good friend to Shantae, who's a little obsessed with her, but I wouldn't go as far as to say it is just blatant lesbian love, but it might go that way. You gave us a purpose again, gal. Thanks for it. Come on, Poe. See ya, coffee lady. See, And I feel like better writing in the middle of the game definitely could have happened here. Like, it would have been very easy after the Mudbog Island portion of the story for Roddy Tops and Poe and Abner to come back to the mainland and have this scene, and then Roddy Tops would have just been in front of the lighthouse or in the lighthouse for the rest of the game. You choose, Snack Cakes. What? Me? So, yeah, she just kind of flirted with Bolo. Yeah, Rodder's brothers seem a lot less scary than they used to be. I should take off too. I've got a lot of work to do, and I can't wait to get started. I wish there was more story about those 3 gamers in the heads or tails game puzzle there. That seemed really ridiculous. That storm did a real number on this place. Good luck fixing the mayor's patio chair. Bolo, the mayor's retreat is the other way. That boy. So this pirate master fellow was Risky's old boss, huh? Yep. My magic was the key to awakening that curse and bringing him back. It appears that it was also his undoing. Yeah, well, Risky had him figured out from the start. I'm now stuttering and stammering over these words. Too much dialogue. It would have been nice if this was voiced. I think you probably could have gotten all of this voice work into a 3DS cartridge, but maybe not. Always one step ahead. I think she was just lucky. No one's that manipulative. Anyway, you've got your magic back, right? Sure did. Half genie once again. And I'm bursting with brand new ideas for my next dance moves. I'm glad to see your spirits up. I'm going to fetch Bolo. We'll talk again later. Things are finally starting to get back to normal. Uncle, I've been meaning to ask you, why did you have that Tinkerbat in the workshop? Oh, that well. I've been conducting some experiments on the properties of magic. I thought perhaps the polarity of magic could be reversed, much like a magnet. I figured there might be some way to restore your powers, but it looks like you proved that theory on your own. Thank you for everything, Uncle. Again, the shy pose, and I'm sorry for running off with Risky and not telling you. You're a handful, young woman, but you gave Risky Boots a chance that most folks never would. You may never become a full genie like your mother, but you're becoming more like her in far more important ways. She'll see it herself one day when you finally meet her. You think so, Uncle? I know so. Someday. And so, yeah, they're just teasing sequels. And this is weird. Like, this is probably the 100% ending extra you get. And there probably is like an extra speedrun ending too. In the previous game they were just still screenshots, but I think you're getting more story this time. And a lot of this does kind of feel like a very basic point and click level, a point and click adventure level of dialogue, where I kind of would have preferred it to just speed up the pace, wrap it up, and give us the credits at this point. Risky, I thought I'd find you here. The Tinkerbats are back. Looks like your Tinkerbacks are back to normal. They've got a lot of work to do. The Tinker Tub will need serious upgrades before I can launch my next attack. Haha, you're kidding, right? Why are you here? Still trying to convince me to become a goody-goody like you? I was just hoping to ask you something. See, this would be funny if it turned out that Risky Boots was her mother, but then the age difference would be way bigger than I would have assumed. Also, you can take note that she still has all the scuff marks on her body. How did you know the dark magic would change? Oh, that. I didn't know, it was just a hunch. I figured if I gave you the lamp, you'd put it to good use. And when I heard about the dreams, I figured the magic must be yours. What dreams? But you knew that I wouldn't destroy it. Somehow you knew it would change. How could it not? with you selling the 7 Cs doing good deeds for every hard luck case, I make it a point to know my enemies. I knew the pirate master would make a grab for the dark magic, and I knew you'd do the opposite of common sense and hand it over. Well, yeah, to save you. Exactly. Alright, man, snap to. We're shipping out. The doomsday device won't build itself. Watch your back, Grunt. You too. Yeah, there was really no reason to have to travel to have that conversation. That could have happened earlier. Oh, one more thing. Huh? Your mother. You're just like her. Only shorter. And more annoying. So, again, Risky Boots, maybe the mother in secret, but maybe she just knew him. Risky. Smooth sailing. So that's Shantae in the Pirate's Curse. There are some problems, definitely. The first problem being that you... I guess we're going to get some screenshots here. First problem being that you have to force this game to run at 59 frames per second, in my opinion, to make it run well. Second problem being that there are just several points in this game where you're doing something different and different from what you would expect a standard platforming game would be. And even though this is a 3DS game, it's still a fairly old enough game that it doesn't have the modernization features you would expect. Things like checkpoints, things like fast travel, things like just the ability to leave a dungeon at certain places. Oh, the dog is in the Lost Souls place too. That's a reference to the achievement in the previous game where you could kill a dog. Here we have them dice rolling. You definitely would have made more sense. Here you have a bunch of bathing beauties. But they don't even pause on the images, so unless those unlock in the main menu, you're not getting very well rewarded by that art. In fact, I think that is inherently a problem with this game, is it is a little bit, for lack of a better term, masturbatory, I guess is the right word. I can't think of a different one that's nicer. It definitely feels like the artist is really just drawing the art to please himself and kind of not focusing enough on varying up the body styles of the characters. It doesn't feel like there's enough focus on the story. I wouldn't expect the game to be much different with, but there could have definitely been a few slight changes here and there. They definitely needed to rebalance the attack system. They definitely needed to rebalance the currency system. There's definitely some features that would have made this a little bit less finger blistery, which my thumb does feel blistered. So it took me just slightly over 12 hours. There is a speedrun mode, and now pirate mode is unlocked. I also, in the middle of that, looked up WayForward Technologies, which is the company that made this, just to look it up and find out that it is based in Valencia, California in March 1990, so it's like 30 years old. My point there being, even though this is clearly heavily influenced by what I would call Japanese style of doing things and Japanese style games and visual novels in some of the dialogue. Wallpaper unlocked, game cleared, but that's not even a particularly lewd wallpaper, and I think this game is kind of on that selling point. Saving, please don't turn it off. But yeah, there definitely have been points Yeah, of 1990. I'm
Shantae
playing this in
and the Pirate's
2020.
Curse.
But according to this, I only have 84% done. That certainly could be though, because I don't. Let's see.
Shantae and
When
the
you press A,
Pirate's
it brings you out to this point. If I go New Game Plus, we can go into Pirate Mode and we can look at it. Yeah, Wayfood 4 definitely feels influenced by Japanese games, but it does do some different things. Honestly, I don't think a Japanese game in particular would set the main character as a genie character and set it in kind of this unique island-based Persian world. And yeah, here's another great example of just custom artwork with her in the pajamas, and we never see that again. Like, if this was a game that was like kickstarted, I do feel like you would that would be about the only thing that would make sense. So I'm given an iron potion and a pike bow, and we have all the abilities. Well, it does seem like, well, that's gonna play differently. Like if I can just hover with the hat and do this, then you might have a chance there of never dying, which might be an achievement, or not being able to speedrun this game in like 2 hours. Although, if you are going to speedrun this game, like, I'm not sure how. Man, I think that's a point where I got hit before when I originally played it. Yeah, I don't know if there's enough of a move here, because you're still only doing like 5 damage. It's still fairly easy to take a hit. And the fact that the first people you're hitting still can't be killed in a single hit says something. So this was the point where the platforming was problematic, and I'm not having any problem here. Yeah, that 59 frames per second was all it took. Like, in all fairness, I have had 12 hours of experience of warming up to this game now, but first try. And I believe there is an achievement for, like, defeating this first one on the first try. There we go. And you wouldn't have had the centaur. And we can just fast run through all this.
Ammo Baron!
So it probably won't be too hard to take on this guy. Alright, let's see. It's not letting me activate any of the items. Interesting. We'll see if maybe we can do that now.
Pike ball!
Alright. Come on. Alright, so pike ball's useless. We've got to hit the ball back to him. So yeah, it actually is fairly easy to do this battle. Just gotta get here and hit him as much as possible.
Restoration!
I'll probably have to do that a couple more times. And there's only so fast you can hit the... Yeah, there's only so fast you can hit the guy. And again, maybe at 59 frames, this battle's a lot easier. I'm just trying to skip this cutscene. Yeah, you could speedrun this, particularly in pirate mode, which might then unlock a different mode. And unlike the previous game, the pirate mode here isn't changing your outfit for the entirety of the game, which feels like the next step of this concept would have been to simply have a outfit option. It's just a lot of cutscene here, even when you're trying to skip it. So I guess the question is, what would the Tinkerbats look like if they weren't, if they were infused with light magic? So you're just immediately stuck with this guy. I don't have the lamp yet, so... It doesn't seem like the game would change any in pirate mode, other than just be faster and easier, which is certainly at that point would be possibly better to possibly easier than and so you would have to run around and collect all the hearts again, but now that you have the abilities in your first try, so it almost becomes a decent argument to simply intentionally speedrun the first time and then come back later. There's nothing new to purchase. one is the options, yeah. And there's nothing in the options mode. Where that's where we would have assumed that there would have been something, is in this option mode there would have been an outfit or something. A way to swap outfits. But yeah, there's kind of nothing like that. Alright, well, that's it for Shantae and Shantae, or Shantae, I've been calling her Shantae. 2014 copyright game. There's 1 or 2 more Shantae games, and they do seem to take about 4 years in between on average, so we are still going forward in the series. It is a weird experience, certainly, because you're not playing, at least on PC, on Steam, you can't play the Game Boy version of the game, the original Game Boy game, and you probably wouldn't want to. Shantae Risky's Revenge, the second game in the series that we played before, is a little too old to really justify playing. Even Shantae's The Pirate's Curse is a little too old to justify to most people. So almost certainly, I would say the next game in the series would be the one you would recommend to people play, and then if they became huge fans of Shantae, then they can go back and play the two previous games. But you still can't really play it in a chronological order, not unless you can find the original Game Boy game. So it is a weird experience that really calls out for a reboot a lot more than most games that get rebooted. Like, this is kind of a great example of an old sort of medium game. I won't call it bad, but it is definitely a medium game that had, if they just rebooted it and tried to tell the same story that they have been telling up until this point, they could squeeze what is probably very little story from 4 games down into 1 game, take the greatest parts of those games and make one bigger, better game, and move forward. Although, on the other hand, I'm not sure if the platformer as a genre is a genre that sells enough these days for it to really matter. Anyways, that's going to be it for this series. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and watch every second of my videos. If you like this kind of game and want to see me play a different series, the Monster Boy, the Wonder Boy / Monster World series of games are available on Steam. You could friend me on Steam and gift me those, or gift me a gift card and I could get them myself. That series is named very awkwardly though, so you basically have to type in the word Wonder Boy, or you could just look at my wishlist. That would work too, but my wishlist itself is fairly long. The other way you can support me is by clicking on the link down below to Patreon, or you can just friend and follow me on social media sites to get notifications of when my videos are out and watch my videos and like my videos. That's certainly helpful too. Also, if you do want to watch more of my videos, I have a playlist on my YouTube channel, this playlist tab, and in that there's a playlist for every single game I've ever covered. I've covered a lot of them, so go check some of those out. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.